In just a decade, Kenya's television landscape has transformed in leaps and bounds. From fewer than 20 stations in 2015, the airwaves now pulse with the energy of 359 TV channels, according to the 2025 Economic Survey report. A digital revolution that has turned living rooms into vibrant theaters of information, faith, and entertainment. The numbers are dazzling. More than 320 new channels are lighting up screens since the 2015 switch-off from analog to digital. A quarter of them powered by religious organizations, each vying for hearts and minds with messages of hope, salvation, and sometimes something far less pure. This digital broadcast bonanza has not only created over 5,000 new jobs since 2015, but has also become a vital artery pumping up to 120 billion shillings into the economy every year. Free-to-air television alone brings in as much as 30 billion shillings annually, making the sector a pillar of national prosperity. In homes across the country, millions tune in seeking solace, entertainment, or the thrill of a game. Yet, for some, these sessions end in heartbreak as promises of quick riches through televised gambling morph into cruel deception.
Acha niseme Mungu atanilipia hiyo. Na juu mimi ni muombaji, Mungu atanilipa.
There is no TV station or radio station, to my recollection, that has a promotion permit.
My name is Ibrahim Karanja, a senior reporter with The Nation Media Group based in Nairobi, Kenya. For weeks, I have been investigating these dangerous trends with an aim to expose how behind the glow of some of these screens, ordinary Kenyans are robbed in plain sight. I will show you how in the sanctuaries of religion, fraud and betrayal have become the loudest, most persistent stain on the collars of some of those meant to be a beacon of hope. Yahweh's Media Services Limited is a religious-based media organization headquartered at K-Mall along Kangundo Road in Nairobi. Official records from the Communications Authority of Kenya about licensed broadcasting service providers as at July 2024 show that Yahweh's Media Services Limited TV stations are registered as commercial free-to-air stations. There are 4 TV stations licensed under the company. That is Jawabu Television, Madhabahu TV, Yahweh's TV, and Shahada TV. Here, unknown to many, is where thousands of Kenyans have been conned for over 3 years. Millions of hard-earned cash from poor Kenyans have gone down the pockets of those who are supposed to give hope. They have turned to be wolves in sheep's clothes. But you may ask yourself, how did this happen? You are more than a victor. Its proprietor is Prophet David Maina. Prophet David Maina, a religious leader born on June 1978. Some refer to him using his other names, Karoro and Kageshu. He holds a degree in Christian ministry that was conferred to him by the Grace Bible Seminary Kenya in conjunction with the Theological University USA. On his profile picture on WhatsApp, he is seen posing with ICT Cabinet Secretary William Kabogo in what appears to be Kabogo's office. By the end of this investigation, you will understand why that is not just a picture. It is influence peddling. Prophet Maina is also the lead spiritual leader of the Yahweh's Evangelistic Revival Ministries, a Nairobi-based church run from the OTC area of downtown Nairobi at Musa House.
Watakao muamini, watakao mukiri, watakao tembea katika haki, wasije wakaangamia.
But operating from under the same roof where the aforementioned 4 stations operate from is another TV station, Wavetime TV, registered under Wavetime Media Limited. In their years of operation, almost all of the listed TV stations were being run separately on different platforms with signals on Signet and others on Pang. But recently, the companies seem to have scrapped their operations on Pang and are now domiciled on Signet only. The TV stations under the stables of these companies have an almost similar mode of operations and programming. They thrive by airing action movies that have been re-edited locally, where a movie DJ talks over the movies in a dramatic fashion as they explain the actions in the movie. A popular movie DJ whose works are a constant content on these TV stations is DJ Fish. But the style of airing these movies is remarkably alarming. Every so often, the movies will be interrupted before an unseen TV presenter starts talking over the muted movies, oftentimes running TV promotional services.
Manzi atekonyara. Wawili watatu ndio wabaki. Ukinipatia tiketi ya kwako ya 200, ukinipatia tiketi ya kwako ya 200 itakuwa multiplied by 100, hiyo itakuwa ni 20,000.
Inviting audiences to gamble by sending some amount of money to their till number for a chance to win a hefty cash prize.
Badala mtu anipatie tiketi ya kwake pale basi ya 600 songe na 60,000 na igawanisha kwa watu watatu. Hiyo draw na igawanisha kwa watu watatu. Kila mtu akinipatia tiketi ya 200, watu watatu wanipatie 200, kila mtu asonge na 20,000.
Some Kenyans passionately play with the hope of winning, maybe to sort out a financial baggage they have. Many names are mentioned on air as active players during the draws. Several are announced as winners, taking home cash prizes from as low as 5,000 shillings to as high as 200,000 shillings.
Kama pengine tutaipata ambaye itakayeweza kumsaidia.
Ezron, congratulations. Na kwenye nafasi ya 3 ni dada yetu ambaye pia ametia bidii sana. Nimekwambia kushinda ni rahisi. Ukaona kama ni mchezo.
But here is the most shocking truth of Prophet David Maina that we have discovered.
I can bet no one gets to him. That man, it's purely scam.
For months, NTV has been investigating these allegations of fraud, planned from the pulpit and driven by Prophet David Maina of the Yahweh's Evangelistic Revival Ministries, a man of the cloth who has given express instructions to his workers, who are equally skilled conmen and women, to swindle Kenyans. While clutching on the revered pages of the Holy Bible, he takes advantage of the trust his audiences have on his platforms by that very virtue of being a religious institution, to steal in the name of TV gambling, leaving many desperate. The gambling entry amounts usually start off as small, almost negligible amounts, but they often end up as hefty amounts for the unsuspecting Kenyans who are made to believe that they are on the verge of winning, if and only if they send in the next higher amount and outcompete an opponent.
Mimi siri yenye naweza patia mtu ni kudouble tiketi yenye kwa mbele Felix na Hapio. Kama tiketi yenye kwa mbele ni ya 150, kuja na tiketi ya 300.
As we will undoubtedly show you, this is always a circus. The unsuspecting Kenyans are always made to feel so close to winning, yet they never will. We identified someone from within the ranks and file of Yahweh's Media Services employees disturbed by the theft, and before we could engage them and blankly take their word for the gospel truth, We asked what their motive was and why they would choose to be part of such a project that exposes a place they earn a living from. Why speak out? And why now?
I think it's from a point of having a heart and just trying to sensitize people on the farm that also on in those problems.
And retrust them.
Whatever happens in those Swindle houses is purely calm, I'd say. It's all about sourcing or asking money from innocent and desperate viewers.
So for months, they gave us insider details of the fraud wrought at Yahweh's media services, from the emotionally trapping catch.
This guy has mastered the act, plus he has recruited the presenters. They've mastered the art of conmanship, whereby they'll convince you, they'll use sensitive markers. For example, a presenter will tell you, kama unajua maybe uko na mgonjwa, ama for example unajua una shida kabisa uko nayo, I've got this 50,000. You just send that 10 bob and you'll get the 50,000 and no post.
To the implementation.
Nobody gets to win that money. So it doesn't matter how much you send, even if you send 100,000, they'll keep prompting to send more. They'll keep kupandisha your competitor.
And the cover-up as an exit plan.
For them to be faithful, they use the 10 numbers. So once the amount in the till in the line, just to something like 3,000, there are finance people given their job to clip through the cash remotely. They don't have to come to the till they as to the money remotely from the offices. So that means even if you send maybe 100,000, by the time you're getting to from the scandal in conned and maybe try to contact for reversal, the reversal will not be possible.
Some of the presenters whose faces have up until the airing of this documentary been successfully hidden from the viewers by only talking over movies could not hide from our cameras and voice recorders from the inside, from when they are on air, be it in the day.
Dakika na pena ni ya mwisho ni countdown inazunguka ikifika 00 ikisha hivyo mimi narejea kupea ushindi wenye atakuwa ameingia. Kwa hivyo dakika ni moja ninaanza sasa hivi, nikirejea wenye atakuwa wameingia tunarejea basi nione jinsi ambavyo na wazawadi hizi miela mimi na director.
Kama ni mjanja pale nipe tiketi 3000 tiketi ya 10 pale uko na chance ya kuchomoka na 3000, right? Na napata kangapi? Na napata kambili pale at exactly 7:58. Naparejea pale kutangaza yule ambaye wale ambao watakuwa wameingia. Nataka watu ngapi wa chanja? Nataka watu 3.
Nimwambia mtu anajulikana kama nani? Rechu, maana hujaweza kujikwama pale ukanipa tiketi za kwako zaidi. Maana hujaweza kujikwama pale unipa tiketi za kwako zaidi. Basi mwenzako achomoke na hiyo hela. Basi mwenzako ina account of 500 na hizo pesa. In account of 4 mwenzako basi yale na hiyo pesa. In account of ngapi? In account of 3, in account of 3 hiyo pesa yale na mwenzako.
Sekule ni ya kwanza na ya mwisho. Sekule ni ya kwanza na ya mwisho. So dakika kabisa. Kufikia pale 16,000 Kenyan shillings za kwangu ziko mikononi mwako pale Christabel ukiwa na 250. Congratulations tena sana.
Or under the cover of darkness.
Tena congrats kwa wenye wamebuka shida wako tu pale. Congrats kwa wenye wamebuka shida wako tu pale. Kama usiweza kuchomoka na hela hapa, there is always the next time. So, ingia pale. Usikufe moyo.
Ukinunua tiketi ya kwangu, bila shaka na mimi nakuzawadi pesa kwa mpigo tena zaidi. Basi nunua tiketi ya kwangu na mimi nakuzawadi pesa za kwangu. Niko na 3,000 kwa sasa. Niko na 3,000 kwa sasa. Utakachofanya ni nini? Enda pale kwa M-Pesa, nunua tiketi ya kwangu. fanya ninavyokushauri pale, na hapo utapata pesa za kwangu kwa mpigo tena zaidi basi.
My goodness. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Joelin, umeacha tuna 14. Nipe 1500 Joelin.
To when they are off air, engaging in casual conversations in the office.
Yani usisubiri sana.
Ndio mtu anamaliza ni introduce.
Akimaliza, si amemaliza ameondoka. Unawapatia kama 10 minutes kuingia. Kuambia hii sasa ndio time ya kupiga bili za pesa.
Ino masaa
Ya wazito. Yani hiyo ni wizi ninakufunza.
Masaa ya kuchukua mdogo.
Hiyo ni wizi ninakufunza hivyo.
Indeed, one thing is increasingly clear. They know they are stealing. They know what they are engaged in is a crime. But they continue regardless.
Masaa ya kuchukua mdogo.
Hiyo ni wizi ninakufunza hivyo.
But tunaweza kuwa hiyo time.
Sana. Hapo hiyo demo yako hiyo. Ninamwambia wakati mimi nilikuwa
ninaogopa ndakomba zote.
Indeed, even the sophisticated and seemingly flamboyant Prophet David Maina was caught on tape with incriminating evidence. First, while advising his workers to reduce or at best stop showing their faces on TV while running the fraud scheme.
Kuna makati tafika tuachana mambo ya kamera. Ni kama tuko na show zingine za gospel, show zingine za nyimbo, vitu kama hizo. Maana unajua saa nyingine tulizo unazaingia kwa show mtu atoe 1300 na ni hapa. Ni kweli? Ni wa junction. Ukienda kufanya shopping hapo kwa duka nakwambia habari yako mzuri. Sio ulikuwa kwa TV jana. Aliza anaita watu kuja muone.
But secondly, admitting the staggering figures his TV stations make out of this fraud.
Kwa tupunguze upande wa maybe producer tupungue, that's what I want. Tupunguze the number kabisa ili kwamba most of the team wale wako presenters. Na ukienda kule ujitu uzeni ufanye show tuletee 300. Ndio umetuangusha kidogo. Na mimi napambana through whatever the means ya kama hizo zote ziende national.
From the draws, the amounts stolen appear negligible. A 5 Kenya shillings here, some 10 bob there, 50 bob or 100 bob here. But over time, these figures balloon to remarkably huge amounts, as Prophet Maina confesses here to his employees in a meeting few weeks ago.
Ile station can perform. Ile TV moi perform hapa kuliko zote ni. You know. Hapana ina single view. Mimi niko na memory ya kila TV. Mimi najua the TV ambayo ili perform the best kuliko TV zote siku moja. Ni gani? Madhabahu Signet. Ili perform the highest kuliko TV zote in a single day. Ilikuwa ni Emmanuel na Charles. Moja aliingia akapata 300 na kitu, mwingine akapata 400 na kitu. Hiyo TV in a single day ilita shilingi 1000 in a single day.
The figures are staggering and a confirmation of the hundreds of millions of Kenya shillings stolen from when they first went on air.
December, we used to get 600,000 per day on compulsory almost every day. Kila karibu nikaanza kuona na hii 6 zimekaa sana hapa sipane kidogo. Maana it was normal. Nikawa tunaweza pata 300. Ilikuwa normal. Kupata 600 ni normal tu, ni kitu ya kawaida. So, if you say no, then things are going to be better.
Bishop David Maina is such a convincing orator. The more he sits with his employees, the skilled conmen and women, the more they draw inspiration to steal more and more.
Kumaanisha kwamba hakuna TV yezi perform. Yule kijana alikuwa producer alikuwa anaitwa nani? Alipiga 165,000 hapo. Kinoti. Ilikuwa tu siku ya kawaida tu. Presenter amechelewa saa 3 umefika hajakuja. Kinoti alikuwa ameshasema nataka kuwa presenter akaingia na akafanya. Alipata 165,000. Na wakati kumekagwa kama saa hii. So ikaamizi. Kumaanisha there's nobody who cannot perform. It was his very first show kufanya kwa TV. Sasa kitu alikuwa nayo kwa kichwa ni kwamba amesikiza presenters vile wanaongea akapata the knowledge on the same.
And by the way, even in theft, Bishop David Maina prays and commits the theft to God.
In anything that you do on the globe, if at all you want to be successful, weka Mungu mbele. Kama uliweka Mungu mbele, haijalishi changamoto zitakazo kuja katika maisha ama katika whatever that you are doing. Unajua kama uliweka Mungu pale mwanzo, hata pale mwisho utamuona.
We got access to the gadgets that reflect mobile money transfers as proof of payment by hopeful viewers who participate and pray for a chance to win, and we can confidently report that in almost all cases where a viewer is told to have lost the draw to another competing viewer, oftentimes they are the only ones playing and are pitted against ghost competitors.
So it doesn't matter how much you send, even if you send 100,000, they'll keep prompting to send more. They'll keep kupandisha your competitor. So you'll have to send every coin you have, and that goes to desperate Kenyans or desperate viewers who are watching to send more money. Each and everything they ask you to send the money. What is the money we are trying so hard to hustle in town, and you happen maybe to send it to a parent? What if my mom falls into that trap? Send all the money maybe I've sent her, and maybe she gets conned. Because you can clearly our African parents, majority of them, okay, there are some of them who are aged. They'll switch to that TV station and then they say, "Hii hawa wanapeana pesa." So she'll be prompted to send back money.
What our whistleblower is doing here is to give us an analogy. What if this happened to my elderly mother back in the village? What if it were my father? But for many mothers and fathers of many Kenyans, this is no longer an analogy. It is a reality. That one can send you money for use, and in few minutes it is gone without being put to the intended purpose.
Thank you.
This is what happened to Ruth Wanjiko, a wife, a mother, and a grandmother living in Kikuyu of Kiambu County. She was feeling unwell on the day she lost her money.
Siku hiyo nilikuwa sikofu, kwa hivyo niliamkia mwendo wa saa 4:30 hivi, nikakuta kijana yangu, na kijana anapenda hiyo mchezo tunaita wasalala. Hiyo inachangia. Mimi nikaketi hapa, nikaona hapo kwa kando ya TV hapo kuna mchezo inaendelea hapa na pale, tukaanza na 10 bob.
As we earlier told you, we got access to the gadgets that reflect mobile money transfers as proof of payment by hopeful viewers who participate and pray for a chance to win. And we have in our possession proof of the very moment Ruth sent her first 10 shillings and the code of that particular transaction at 10:49 a.m. on the 27th of March 2025.
Mimi nilikuwa nimerushiwa 5k na mzee. Alikuwa amepewa na mtu fulani juu nilikuwa mgonjwa. Sasa nilikuwa na 5k kwa simu. Ndio nikaanza kucheza 10 bob. Kulikuwa na madam mwingine. Alikuwa kabila fulani. Yeye ndio tulikuwa tunacheza na yeye. 10 bob ikafika 50, nikirusha 50 anarusha 100, nikirusha 200 yeye anarusha 300, tukaenda hivyo mpaka yeye akashinda mwanzoni na kitu kama 8k. Yangu ilikuwa imefika 65. Hiyo ikaishia. Tukaanza tena. Tukarusha. Mimi nikajikuta simu yangu imeniambia haina chochote.
Mlikuwa unarusha ngapi?
Ndio hiyo ilikuwa hata kuna wakati ilifika 400 mimi nikarusha 500, 600, 700 hivyo. Ndio hizo 5k yangu ikapotelea hivyo.
Take a keen listen of what Ruth is saying here.
Kulikuwa na madam mwingine. Alikuwa kabila fulani. Yeye ndio tulikuwa tunacheza na yeye.
Then take a closer look at these M-Pesa transactions as evidenced by these messages. Ruth is clearly competing against herself. From the 10 shillings at 10:49 a.m., she sends 20 shillings at 10:51 a.m., then 50 shillings at 10:52 a.m.
nikirusha 50 anarusha 100, nikirusha 200 yeye anarusha 300, tukaenda hivyo mpaka yeye akashinda mwanzoni na kitu kama 8k.
She sends another 20 shillings 2 minutes later, then 70 shillings at 10:55 a.m. Clearly, there is no other message appearing in between her transactions to suggest that there is another party playing. From 10:51 a.m. when Ruth first tried her luck to 11:05 a.m. Ruth had tried her luck 12 times. The more she got lured by promises of instant monies, the more she got trapped in a relentless cycle of false hope. In just 16 minutes, she had used 3,770 Kenyan shillings from the transaction whose messages we have.
Mwishowe ndio nilikapigia mzee kimchezo nikamwambia naweza nirushia 500 kuna kamchezo na naona kama naweza kula. Akaniambia kwani hauna chochote? Kwa hapana. Na akanirushia. Tena nikaendelea hivyo. 500 tena ikaenda. Huyo mwenye alikuwa anakula mara ya pili alikula 33k.
Wana announce mshindi. Jina tu wameitoa tu jina pia kufikiria tu. Wewe mwenye umetuma hiyo pesa, hakuna siku hata moja utakuja kushinda hiyo pesa. Sasa inabidi wameleta mtu mwingine kwenye feature kumaanisha ya kwamba ameshinda hiyo pesa lakini sio wewe. Sasa leo wanakuweka as number 2. Kwa sasa ndio namba 2. Ukiendelea maybe kucheza in the next, even whatever in the next draw, bearing in mind ulikuwa position 2. Kitu tu kwa chiza itakwambia McFrain ndakuwa position 1.
Walikuwa wanasema kwa Ruth, sasa ni wewe utachelewa rusha. Naye walikuwa wanataja hiyo jina. Kwa mfano, Jennifer amekupita ako na 600, naye rusha 700 hivyo. Ilienda iko inaenda hivyo.
Na mwishowe wakasema wewe hujashinda.
Unaona sasa umepitwa hivyo. Na umepitwa mara ya pili. Iliisha hivyo.
Waliwachia wapi kusema hujashinda?
Sasa wakati waliona sasa sichezi tena, ilikuwa tu hivyo.
Wakasema yule
ameshinda.
Wakikwambia utume Ken Bob, subconsciously later utatuma Ken Bob, ukifikiria utaweza kushinda there, but 10,000. And what happens I forgot, when you send the 10 Bob, they see you can clearly see someone with a potential of sending more. So they then increase their draw, and they had said it's 10,000. That is say, and I quote whatever they say, kwa sababu umejikwamua kwa haraka, hii draw yetu imeongezeka na imekuwa 50,000. So for you to win the 50,000, you'll have to send 20 bob. That's where they introduce another competitor who is not in the picture. In most cases, it's only one person who gets to play. In most cases. Either or at most 3. They get into the 3 of them with their 10 bob, Ken Bob. Once you tell them to send more, maybe one of them is, they just say, I'm not going back. So, they'll be left either 2 of you or one person. So they send you'll be prompted to add more, send more, play to win the 50,000. So you send 10 shillings, for example, then introduce the other person and say maybe the other person had sent 20 shillings. And for you to win that money, and for you to take the money from that person, you would have to send back the shillings. So it goes from Ken, maybe 20 shillings, 15.
Sorry for cutting you short. If 30, I won't, because I sent 10. If I sent 20 bob, is it 30 now?
That will be nullified. Then they'll tell you, send an amount which is more. And I also quote Ardino, whatever they say, Veife machine zetu haziundamishi kichurch. To mean they don't do andations. So if we've been asked to send 20 shillings, we'll have to send either 20 shillings or more.
This fraud goes beyond announcing names on TV. In some instances, when a viewer who is trying their luck suddenly stops sending money, they are called. This is a mobile conversation between a presenter at one of the TV stations and one such viewer.
Joseph, tunauliza kama uko kwa draw ama tuachilie pesa. Niulizaje? Fanya hivi. Uko ready kuondoka na pesa? Aha, basi sifanye hivi. Swingie tuna 3000 utomoke nipe pesa wapi? Uko na ngapi tuone kama unaweza pata bonus? Kwa tupatie your friend eh?
The man on the other side of the phone call is Joseph Wanyuikenganga, a widower and a father, blessed with 3 girls. The girls are in secondary school. Their school fees is the very reason Nganga found himself trying his luck by gambling on the 4th of April 2025.
Walikuwa wananiambia pale nini wa TV, wewe mwenzako ameweka 7,000. Nganga. Wewe una faku huyu ameweka nini sijui jina, hiyo jina sikumbuki. Lakini ongeza nini udioku? Lakini wakati wa mwisho wakati nilikataa kucheza, nikakaa kitu kama dakika 20 minutes hivi. Wakatangaza ati sijui yule amechukua ameenda na lakini wakati nilikaa kama 21 hapo minute, wakanipigia simu sasa direct. Wakaniambia, Nganga, tumeona vile unafanya, sasa fanya hivi, ongeza pesa fulani ndio tukutumie
Kama ungeingia na 1500 kama 2000 ungepata bonus ya 20,000 na mwingine chomoke na 30,000. But sasa tutafanya aje?
Nikamwambia hapana, mimi sina pesa. Na hata dakika mwisho niliwatukana, niliwaambia niwezi.
Basi na macho hiyo ndio itachomoka na Josephine. Unless mimi kama utakapoondoka na bonus uingie na above 1500 ama above 1000. Basi hiyo pesa inachomoka na Josephine. That's all we are going to confirm.
But how did it get to a point where the presenter in studio called Nganga?
Mimi tangu nizaliwe sijafikiria mambo ya kugabu. Lakini wakati yule mtu anaweza kaa kwa nyumba hivi, ukae kwa nyumba una shughuli, una nini, nilikaa nikaona TV iko na michezo zinaendelea huko. Nikichagua yani vile mtu anacheki channel hivi, nikakuta wako na mchezo. Mimi nikaona walikuwa wakisema ukiweka shilingi 10 unakula shilingi 10,000. Kitu ya yes 10,000 kitu ya kwanza. Haya, na mimi nikawa sina shughuli. Wakati nilikaa tu vile tu anapumzika hivi, nikakunywa chai yangu hapo. Nikasikia wa kwanza unaweka unatumiwa, unaweka unatumia, ati unaweka 10 unatumia 10,000.
We tracked the shows at some of those TV stations and found the part that Nganga is describing here, where the presenters announce that anyone who sends their 10 shillings instantly walks away with a win, but it was a trap.
Sasa nikasema wacha nijaribu. Wakati nilifikiria kujaribu, nikaweka 10 sikukula. Wakati niliweka nikaona kama hawakuona kama vizuri, nikaona wacha niweke ingine. Wakati niliweka ingine, iko mtu mwingine naye alijitokea sasa kwa hiyo screen. Kukasemekana ameweka 20. Kwa hivyo mimi inabidi niweke 30 ndio nimuluke. Nikaona hiyo ni pesa kidogo.
Remember this script as was described by our whistleblower.
We can clearly see someone with a potential of sending more. So they increase their draw. They had said it's 10,000. They say, and I quote whatever they say, kwa sababu umejikwamua kwa haraka, idrot imeongezeka imekuwa 50,000. So for you to win the 50,000, you have to send 20 bob. That's where they introduce another competitor.
It played out. The cash prize was increased.
Nikaona hiyo ni pesa kidogo. Saa hiyo pesa za kukuliwa zimepanda. Zimekuja sasa ni 20,000. Haya. Mimi nikaweka hiyo nikaweka hiyo 20 shillings. Kukaa ule akaweka 40. Na kicheki nikaona hiyo hii pesa ni mingi sana, na kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa nikiwa na haja sana ya pesa siku hiyo ama hiyo siku. Nilikuwa watoto wanatoka shule, wanakuja nyumbani. Sasa nilikuwa nikishindwa nitatoa ndo wapi. Na vile uchumi iko baya. Nikaona hapa acha nikitumia 500 kabla hizi 500 ishe nitakuwa nimefanikiwa. Si kufanikiwa. Tukaendelea tu. Ukifika 500 ule anasema kunasemekana ati ameweka 5,500. Ikifika 500 kunasemekana ameweka 600. Kwa hivyo mimi ng'ang'a unafaa uonge. Sasa pale kwa nini kwa kukuliwa hata imefika 200,000. Na sasa tuko kwa ule anaweka 1,500. Mimi niweke ndio nimuluke. Sasa nikaweka 1,700. Lakini nilianza kusuku. Lakini wakati wa kusuku nikaona hapana. Hii pesa zangu kwa vile zimeendelea, wacha nione kama nitakuna. Na kwa sababu tuko wawili hapa tunachezezwa, tuko wawili. Wacha nione vile kama hizo pesa zangu zitarudi. Nilicheza, tukaendelea tu wakisema sinabakia dakika sijui sekondi ngapi. Wakati wa mwisho kabisa niliona hapa dakika ya mwisho na hata pesa ya kukula sitakuwa nazo. Sasa nikaweka ikafika 7,000. Mimi nikaona wacha niwache.
From the gadgets we accessed at Yahweh's media services, we found proof of the transactions Ng'ang'a did to win. And again, it was obvious that he was playing alone. The competitor who was always ahead of him was a ghost competitor. In this screenshot, complete with transaction codes, we see how in a record 25 minutes between 10:17 a.m. on the 4th of April 2025 to 10:42 a.m., Ng'ang'a had used close to 7,000 shillings in the gambling.
Now, the use of betting or gambling or TV promotions and any other kind of promotion with the hope of getting more money that will take you out of your troubles is slowly getting into the heads of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Kenyans. Like in Ng'ang'a's case, for instance, he had to sacrifice 7,000 shillings that he had in the hope that he will get 40,000 shillings to pay for school fees for his 2 children.
Mimi haja yangu pesa zilikuwa za shule. Unasikia nilikuwa na 10,000. Hizo 10,000 nilikuwa nikitaka watoto sasa walikuwa wanatoka shule kwa sababu hiyo unaona mwezi wa 4 si ndio watoto wanafunga. Sasa mimi nilikuwa nimejiwekea hiyo 10,000. Ndio watoto wakikuja kwanza nilikuwa nakitaka wawili, mmoja nimtumie ngiri moja ya fare ya kukuja na mwingine nimtumie 1,000 wa. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa nikisema 8,000 wakikuja home kabla masiku iende nitakuwa nimefanikiwa. Lakini nilikuwa nikitaka 40,000 kwa sababu nilikuwa nikijua wakirudi shule lazima niwe nimejipanga kwa hizo pesa. Sasa wakati hizo pesa zangu zilikuwa hata nikukopa nilienda nikakopa, hata saa hii sijalipa hata saa hii. Hata saa hii hata kwanza sijalipa hata duru, si walirudi juzi. Si sasa hii mwezi ndio imefanya nini? Sasa hata saa hii sijalipa.
The TV stations that we have highlighted have identified a strategy and have a clear target audience that is vulnerable. By analyzing their programming, one can make out the demographic they target as they conduct their fraudulent gaming.
So akona extraordinary
powers.
Movies whose narrations are DJ-led indicate that the targeted demographic is one that may not have access to movie streaming platforms that stream videos on demand and only depend on the movies on these free-to-air TV channels. Like in the case of Ruth Wanjiko and Joseph Nganga, they spend an approximate 700 shillings to cater for their families daily. To mean, by taking part in the gamble, they lost a substantial amount of money that would have catered for their families for more than a week. Prophet David Maina's station are playing smart in Kenya's cutthroat free-to-air TV market, where credibility is everything. That is why Yahweh's Media Services Limited has brought on board none other than gospel superstar Ben Githai.
Kuna kububujuika.
Every Sunday morning, Githai hosts Ben Githai Live across these stations, a major draw for Christian faithfuls. He is not just a celebrated musician. He is a household name who once shaped national politics as the musical voice behind President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election in 2017. Githai's presence lends instant credibility to the network, drawing in audiences and setting the stage for the programs that follow. While this expose does not accuse Githai of any wrongdoing, it raises a crucial question. Does he know the brand he is fronting for is swindling Kenyans? It is a question we asked him, and though he declined a physical meetup and an interview, he answered some of those questions in a phone conversation.
Sijui kama unaweza patikana utupe interview.
I cannot.
Or you cannot.
And outrightly, mimi huwa naenda hapo kuhubiri.
Okay.
Naleta show ya gospel. So I don't involve myself in anything to do with that. I just go there on Sunday. I do a gospel show. Namaliza. Naenda natoka. So I would like you to talk to management. I cannot do interview for something that I don't own. I just do a show and I go.
Watu wanakuharibia sifa sana, wanasema
wacha waniharibie.
Okay.
Like sasa hiyo ongeeni na management.
Management ni nani Ben?
Management ni anaitwa Bishop Maina na ninaweza kutumia namba yake, ama vile tu umepata yangu. Make sure umepata namba yake, uliza management, anything to do with the management na administration ya huko. I have never been involved. Mimi naendanga tu Sunday from 6 to 8 in the morning, na hubiri natoka.
Uoni kama wanakuharibia sifa
wakifanya mimi sasa? Let me tell you my brother.
Yes.
Anything ambayo inahusu hiyo NTV yenu, wewe ukienda unafanya show yako unatoka. Sasa mtu akisema ati NTV ni baya kwa sababu watu wanakutrust kwa sababu huko, watakuwa wanaharibia NTV, sio wewe. So mimi I preach the gospel and the word of God, and I stick to the doctrine of the word of God.
Okay.
Yeah.
But have you heard about these complaints, Ben?
I have not. Wewe nasikia na wewe, ndio maana nakwambia ongelea na management, because I have nimeisikia na wewe mara ya kwanza.
We made attempts to reach out to Prophet David Maina for an interview. Our first attempt was a phone call on Friday the 16th of May 2025. It was a largely polite call, but also we did not reveal in details what we had on him, hoping that he would agree to a face-to-face interview. He declined.
Ni siku gani unaweza patikana utupe interview? Tulikuwa nataka tu
interview hapana kwa saa hii.
Knowing the importance of giving him his right of reply, we called him again on Monday the 19th of May 2025. This time we told him what we were investigating and the allegations that we had against him.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
My name is Frederick. Nakupigia kutoka NTV. Tulikuwa tumekupigia last week.
Yeah.
Tukiomba interview. Mimi nakupigia tena kuomba interview. Sijui ni siku gani unaweza patikana for an interview, sababu kuna taarifa tumepata moja mbili ya kazi ya TV station yako. And hatutaki kupeperusha hizo taarifa bila kukusikia. So sijui ni siku gani unaweza kuwa free between leo na kesho ama Wednesday before we air it.
Kama kuna kitu unataka kwa mnaweza ya tu.
Utaki
interview saki.
Utaki interview? Ni sababu tunaambiwa uko na TV 7 na tuko na sure kama hizo TV zote ni zako.
Tunasema so information ya pass hiyo ni TV kama TV control kuna tofauti ya TV na TV yangu. So kuna same license. So kama mlikuwa na mambo yenu mnaweza endelea nayo. Kama mnajua ni genuine.
The prophet, in a dismissive manner, chose to warn us of dire legal consequences should we write about him without concrete evidence.
Fanya investigation yenu mmaliza, mkishamaliza you do whatever you bada sina sibai kuwa summon na TV ingine. I have a TV station also. I cannot be summoned by a TV station. Yeah. But whatever you do, mjue mhakisha mko na details vizuri maana itakuwa ni kesi. So whatever, just do your investigations as far as you have. But you should just ensure whatever you do is what is right to be done. And we do the right way. Hiyo tu ndio nakwambia.
Na ile inafanyika saa hizi sababu tunaona watu bado wanapoa pesa ya mikopo. Mmepewa barua ya kupeana hizo mikopo?
Sasa ndio nakwambia hivi. Do your own investigations because you are the one. Sasa nimekwambia kila mtu ako busy na kazi yake. Wewe uko na ile kazi unafanya, mimi kuna ile kazi nafanya, so everybody should be busy in his own. Kama unasikia hiyo ndio kazi yako, kuchunguza what I do on my TV and doing the right thing, hata hauna haja kunipigia simu.
Tulikuwa nataka kukupea, you know, kuna right of reply. Tutaki kufanya taarifa na hatujakupea nafasi.
Unajua kabla nifikishe kazi maana nimefikisha, tumeona vitu mingi. So sometimes ufai kujira ukifuatia vitu zingine. Sasa hiyo TV kumaintain kukaa nayo hapo sio kitu rahisi. Imekaa na TV muda mrefu. So such things unaongea, tumeona vitu mingi kwa barabara. So let us see what you have to do. You do the right way, tuone vile mambo ilivyo.
Prophet, mimi naitwa Ibrahim Karanja. A quick question. And I'll put it ndio pengine uone kama utatupatia hii interview. We have evidence that the people who gamble or play at your TV station never win. We have evidence that your presenters name fictitious winners non-existent.
Nini yo?
Non-existent winners kwa hizo draw unafanya kwa TV.
Hakuna mtu anashinda.
Hakuna mtu anashinda.
So nikwambie kitu moja.
Yes.
We have niambia tuko na barua zaidi ya 700 za TV. Zile ziko.
Yes.
So the thing is, me I'm not ready for an interview because I have so much thing to be doing.
Yes.
I have to know how to make things go forward.
Lakini kuna mtu yeyote anashinda. Tulikuwa nataka kujua tu nabii. Kuna mtu yeyote mwenye anashinda kwenye hizo wenye wanapiga.
I can tell you because the reason why I'm not answering you.
Yes.
Because you don't need to come and ask me what I'm doing. I don't know what is regarding the ground kuja kunichunguza what I'm doing.
Yes.
Maana mimi sijakuja kwenu kuchunguza kile mnafanya huko.
Ile siku wenye madhabahu 1 ya Signet.
After Prophet David Maina declined to speak to us on phone, we took the next logical step in our journalistic duty, which is writing him a formal letter requesting for his response to our findings. But delivering this letter would prove to be as revealing as our investigation itself. On Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, our team arrived at the Yahweh's Media Services offices at K-Mall along Kangundo Road. The presence of journalists with official Nation Media Group envelopes evoked palpable anxiety among the staff. Our cameraman, Dennis Gikera, discreetly captured what unfolded next. As we entered the premises, the atmosphere shifted. Staff members exchanged worried glances, and even shoppers in the mall seemed surprised by our presence. We asked to see Prophet Maina, but we were informed he was not around. Instead, we requested to speak to someone in authority. After waiting for a while, a man identifying himself as Eric emerged, claiming to be responsible for corporate communications in Prophet Maina's absence. His body language told a story that his words carefully avoided. The longer we spoke with Eric, the more nervous he became. He kept retreating into the office, then returning with fragmented answers. Eventually, a man who introduced himself as Charles appeared, ostensibly ready to receive our letter on behalf of Prophet Maina. But when we requested that he stamps our copy to acknowledge receipt, which is a standard procedure in professional correspondence, Charles declined. We explained that his stamp merely confirmed delivery, not agreement with or reading of the contents. He could take all the time he needed to review the letter afterwards. Charles remained unmoved, refusing to provide any written acknowledgement of receipt.
Exactly. But you not stop this.
Having delivered the physical letter despite the resistance, I followed up immediately with a digital version. At 4:57 p.m. the same evening of Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, I messaged Prophet Maina directly on WhatsApp. "Good evening, sir. Please find attached a copy of the letter we have delivered at Yahweh's Media Services." His response came swiftly.
"My lawyer will respond to your letter."
I replied, "Appreciated. We will be expecting the response in good time." Prophet Maina then wrote back,
"It's about her wisdom and knowledge on when to do so."
I concluded our correspondence with, "It is all right. Thank you for confirming receipt. We will be waiting for the response." What happened next was telling. Upon realizing he had inadvertently confirmed receiving our letter, Prophet Maina quickly deleted all his WhatsApp messages. Perhaps he believed this would eliminate evidence of our interaction, a digital slate of hand to match the on-air deceptions his stations perpetrate daily. But we had anticipated such a move. I made screenshots of each of his responses the moment they appeared on my phone. These digital footprints remain, despite his attempt to erase them. Our investigation has uncovered not just fraud, but the remarkable adaptability of Prophet Maina's operations in response to regulatory pressure. On May 5th, 2025, the Betting Control and Licensing Board, BCLB, wrote to the Communications Authority of Kenya requesting the immediate shutdown of 23 television stations, including those under Yahweh's Media Services, for violating the 30-day suspension on betting advertisements. The letter explicitly named Yahweh, Jawabu, Madhabahu and other stations under Prophet Maina's control, citing their continued promotion of unauthorized betting activities despite clear directives to cease and desist. Aside from the letter, NTV on its own recorded these betting activities on the aforementioned TV stations, which was a sign of defiance to the ban by BCLB and the Communication Authority.
I want you to note this. On this phone, it is Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025. The time right now is 3:56 p.m. That exact time is reflecting on this screen. 3:55 p.m. This is Yahweh's TV. Their tagline is healing the world. That same time is reflecting on our office clock, which is 3:56 p.m. Now, why is this time important? Is because at this particular time and date, the 6th of May 2025, there is a ban on all betting activities across all media platforms in the country, and this is after an uproar by Kenyans on the effects of betting. But Yahweh's TV, under the Yahweh Media Services, is currently running a movie and betting activities, gambling activities. In it, the till number in which viewers are allowed or asked to send money is displayed on the screen.
Nimesema draw kwetu ni ya pale basi ya 10,000 kwa tiketi ya 10. Nimesema draw kwetu ni ya 10,000 kwa tiketi ya 10. Nenda kwa lipa na M-Pesa by goods and services. Tilamba kwetu tumesema pale basi ni 4984 820 hit. Ukishanipatia tiketi ya kwako, ukishanipatia tiketi ya kwako pale basi ya 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 kusonga mbele, basi unasonga na hiyo draw kwetu pale.
Simu yako uende kwenye lipa na M-Pesa. Chukua simu yako uende kwenye lipa na M-Pesa by goods and services. Till number inakuwa ni 4985180. Till number inakuwa ni 4985180. Amount niwekee shilingi zako zaidi ya 300. Amount niwekee zaidi ya 300. Grisho niona kungojea. Grisho nikumbuka drone ya 15,000. Nipatie zaidi ya 300 uchukue zile pesa.
In response, Prophet Miners stations quickly pivoted. The gambling promotions vanished overnight, replaced by what appeared to be lending services, another regulated financial activity requiring proper licensing. When we visited their offices and innocently questioned Eric about whether these lending services were approved by the Central Bank of Kenya, the reaction was immediate. Within hours, the loans disappeared from their broadcasts as well. In their place emerged perhaps the most morally reprehensible pivot yet: fundraising campaigns purportedly for people with severe medical conditions.
Kama uko hapa na uko rock kusaidia, kama uko hapo na rock kusaidia unayo, kama uko hapo na rock kusaidia unayo, rock kusaidia unayo. Aha, ni very simple. Very simple, very simple, very simple, very simple, very simple. Nipate nani, nipate.
Our screens now filled with distressing images of individuals with graphic medical issues accompanied by heartfelt pleas for financial support. The pattern is unmistakable. When one avenue of fraud faces scrutiny, another opens, from gambling to loans to exploiting human suffering. Each transition is seamless, designed to continue extracting money from vulnerable Kenyans while evading regulatory consequences. Despite our repeated attempts to get a comment from the Communications Authority of Kenya, they have remained silent. This silence raises troubling questions about regulatory oversight in Kenya's broadcasting sector. How many more Kenyans will lose their hard-earned money before action is taken? How many more Ruth Wanjikos and Joseph Ngangas must sacrifice school fees and family savings before these operations face meaningful consequences? In the course of our investigation, we also discovered that Prophet David Maina has penned a letter to President William Ruto, one which he copied to Dennis Itumbi, the head of Presidential Special Projects and Creative Economy Coordination, requesting for a presidential waiver on an approximately 19 million shillings debt the company owes Signet. The letter reads in full that:
Request for a presidential waiver. Yahweh's Media Services has been broadcasting 7 TV stations on Signet platform for the past 2 years. Due to global financial instability, which has also affected our nation, the company has undergone low financial income, resulting to us incurring a huge debt at Signet amounting to 19 million Kenya shillings. This has led us to undergo strenuous working condition, which has led us requesting for a presidential waiver. Your Excellency, the above company is a charitable organization that has helped employ 150 youths in different capacity. We have also been able to take back to school 40 students who had stopped schooling due to school fees issues. Through the church platform, we have also been able to start a feeding program that costs us approximately 3 million Kenya shillings per month. The company has also been able to redeem 30 street children by rehabilitating them and transforming their lives. Your Excellency, we are thus requesting for a presidential waiver to allow and enable us have a smooth running of our company, which will enable us to continue with our charitable deeds. Your Excellency, it will also be our pleasure, though we acknowledge of your busy schedule, if you could accommodate us an appointment in your office that we may be able to elaborate on our company profile. We shall be grateful and humbled at your acceptance of our request.
He signs the letter off as Bishop David Maina.
Naandika barua ambayo iko ukiona hapo utafurahi tani, barua ambayo inakaa vizuri. So kwenda kwa ofisi ile mimi sijazoea kwenda kwa ofisi ya serikali sana. So kuna gari alikuwa part ya hiyo department ya serikali, nikampigia where are you? Hapo Blue Springs. Nikakimbia nikamchukua, tulikuwa na ringtone. Ndio ameniweka mpaka hapa. Kaenda na ringtone tukachukua gari ya Junior moja kwa moja mpaka Harambee House. Yeye anajua kila mahali, tukaenda tukafika the right office, barua ikakuwa received, ikapigwa muhuri.
It is destroying all the people. And unfortunately,
Peter Mbugi is the Chief Executive Officer of the Betting Control and Licensing Board in Kenya.
That's not gambling. That's an auction. I don't know what they're auctioning. I don't know what that one is. And that's why I'm saying we Kenyans must be very, very cautious. Because that is not, absolutely, it's not gambling. Now, it's like you are competing. There is no draw. No, there is no draw where you pick the winner. Your money is like, it's just a prototype of an auction where the winner is the one who has quoted the higher money. Is not, because betting
or bidding.
Or bidding, that's bidding. That's absolutely bidding.
Do you have control of that as BCB?
It's not bidding. We don't have. Because that is bidding. It's not betting. There is no TV station or radio station, to my recollection, that has a promotion permit. Because one, you can't, for example, you can't have a bookmaker in the name of a radio station. You can't run a casino in the name of a radio station. You see? The only thing you can run is a promotion, a prize competition that you want to promote a certain product that you are promoting in your radio station. And those promotions runs for 3 months. They are not licenses, they are permits running for 3 months. And then you wound up your promotion.
All in all, more and more people have fallen victim. Some may not see the need to speak out because what they lost were negligible amounts. But ultimately, it is these negligible amounts that have built an empire founded on fraud.
As the law struggles to keep pace with technology, Kenyans remain vulnerable to schemes that prey on hope and desperation. Regulators are promising action, but until tangible actions are taken, the question still lingers. Who is protecting the public from this kind of sacred swindle? Ibrahim Karanja, NTV in Nairobi.